Good evening, baseball fans. It is Thursday, September 12th, and it is semi a good evening. It's a middling evening. We'll say that. Okay. So, to give the rated R warning off the jump, because inevitably that's just who I am as a person, there will be 4-letter words just strewn about throughout the podcast episode. So if you are sensitive to the 4-letter words, or if anyone around you is sensitive to said 4-letter words, probably should turn this off now, and or put some earbuds, earmuffs. Put the earmuffs on the kids. Put the earmuffs on the kids. Put the earbuds in your ears, and enjoy the ride, because it will be a ride indeed. So Tom, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I need everyone to know that Tom was not having any of my shit today. He just absolutely not. Just was done. Was absolutely done with me. And so it's like, all right, whatever. That's what we're here for, though. Like, I provide the entertainment in everybody's lives. So anyhow, were you not watching the game today while you were working, Tom?
For anyone that I might work with that may be watching the show, I absolutely 100% was not watching the game today. For everyone else, yeah, I had it on my phone. I had my earbuds in, and I was pitch for pitch right there with you.
Yeah, you were working. You were multitasking.
100%.
Despite what people say, apparently guys can do that. I don't know. I don't know many, but Tom is one of the few. Tom is one of the few that can do those things. So, I just need to know if this is a preview of what's to come, Tom. That's what I would like to know. Was the A's series a preview of what's to come?
Absolutely not. And the reason it is absolutely not, because they do this every fucking year. Every year in September, they lose a series to the A's or a shitty Rangers team or a shitty Royals team. And the whole fan base gets all inside their feels and goes, oh my God, the season's over. Pack it up. We suck. And it's like, the next series that comes down the pike, they start playing better because they don't take that series off. And then we're like, oh, that's the Astros I know and love. That's my baseball team. I love baseball. Instead of the person 3 days ago that's like, I hate baseball. I don't even know who let me like this sport. I don't even know why y'all let me watch this thing.
I would never even think of those words or phrases or put said words in such a manner, Tom. I don't know what you're talking about there, sir. Listen, I would just like to know how many times I've told y'all that the A's are our daddies.
Every September when they do this, and you get in your fields for the last 6 years. Yes, this is where this comes from. This is the genesis of the A's are our daddies. They never win any other fucking games. They're always bad. And then we're like, well, why do the A's beat the Astros? For the same reason that I just lined out. They coast. The Astros are known Cadillacers. That's not a word, but it is today. They just
Tom's going to make it a word. Tom is going to make it a word. Cadillacers. There will be a vocabulary test at the end of the fucking episode. Take your notes. Write it down, people. All right?
They coast. They Cadillac into the postseason. They get a lead, and they take days off. Some guy gets a little nicked up. Some guys get more nicked up. See you, Chas McCormick. What the fuck? But we'll get into that later. And they just coast. They take games off. They lose games they're not supposed to lose. They lost 2 games that were very close, highly contested, easily could have won both of them. They just did not have the same level of intensity. They came back, third game, said, all right, we need to straighten the fuck out. And they win a baseball game. Timely hitting that was non-existent the first 2 days. They got today. And you're like, oh, wow.
Late, very late. Just by the hair of their chinny chin chins.
That is why that is why there are 9 innings. Not 7, not 8.
They wanted to wait until the fucking 8th inning. They said, we're just going to keep you guys on your toes. Make sure that you are just really on the verge of that cliff before you just really jump off. John Singleton said, I got y'all. Just hold on. This was an actual. If you guys didn't watch the game today, if you were only listening to it, or if you weren't able to actually view it with your eyeballs, this was an actual graphic that was put up during the game. Versus playoff teams, the Astros are 7-1. Versus sub 500 teams, we're 0-5. 0-5, people. 0-5. 56 runs versus playoff teams versus 15 versus sub 500 teams. Batting average 100 points lower. 313 versus 213. The average with runners in scoring position, RISP, again, another 100-point difference. 324 versus 224. Slugging percentage. Nobody wants to do any extra base hits against sub 500 teams. They said, you know what? Singles for everybody. Because the slug is 522 versus 281. And the starter ERA is 237 versus 587. So essentially, the Astros can't get it up without the excitement of some sort of competition.
This is the hold on. I'll do you one better. If she's a 10, the Astros go to war. If she's a 3, I'm sorry. I got to wash my hair. I got a headache, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
They got to do that. They got to do that everything shower. Do you know about what an everything shower is, Tom?
Please enlighten the people at home what that is.
This is the content that you guys come for, to know, to figure out what the fucking everything shower was. Quite honestly, I had no idea for the first, 6 months that an everything shower was a thing. So, but I'm not girly enough to do an everything shower, so just don't come for me. Anyhow, hello everybody in the chat. If you are here, say hello. Aaron would like to say hi to Football Suzy. That's what Aaron would like to say.
Yes, Aaron. Yes.
Football
Keep pushing
Suzy,
that narrative. It's coming.
Football Suzy's not a thing.
I want y'all to know I got the text traffic to back it up. The football questions are greater these days. Football Suzy is a thing. Keep it alive, Aaron. Keep it alive.
Not gonna lie, I did text him earlier and asked him who is Will Weatherspoon. Weather something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It came across my TikTok For You page, and apparently there's a 40-part series on what a shitty human being he is. I didn't know who the fuck he was. Whatever. Anyhow, those are the football questions that I really want answered. So you're welcome for that. Scott says 1-0 Rangers over Mariners. Still early though. We love that. Scott, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much. Hi, Taylor. Hi, Tay. How are you? Miss you over on PSF. Tom and I are going to get back. I promise. At some point. So let's talk about the game 2. Actually, I take that back. We're starting a new segment, Tom. And
we are. Guys, I don't even know what this segment is. So I'm with you. We're starting it all together.
It's a surprise. And, surprise. This is not a put together show with like actual graphics and shit. That's not what we do here. It's a fly by the seat of our pants kind of show. And I thought about this segment earlier today when I was doing my notes. And actually, technically, it was like game 1 when this occurrence happened. And then again, it happened in game 2. So this is the segment that I like to call Big Dick Pitching. That's what this segment is going to be called. Big Dick Pitching. And you want to know why this segment is called Big Dick Pitching, Tom?
Absolutely. Please educate me.
So if you guys watch any of this A's series, you'll know that there were some innings where some big dick pitching happened. We're gonna have to shorten that because I cannot keep repeating that without flailing over my words. So
BDP.
BDP, yep. And everyone's gonna be all, what is that? That's not a thing that I know. Anyhow, we'll make a vocab sheet for you people. That's because I'm kind like that. That's how I roll. So in the extra innings game, in game 1, one of our favorite relief pitchers came in. And what did he do? Some big dick pitching. That's what he did. Do you know who I'm talking about, Tom?
I believe that is one Brian Abreu.
That is one Brian Abreu. Now, he had been iffy-ish at some points during the season. He hadn't been quite as locked down as we had grown accustomed to. But in the 10th and 11th innings, Brad Abreu had it all working. All of the things, all of the pitches working, pinpoint accuracy. And the first out that was made in the 10th inning was a sac bunt. And then everything else were strikeouts. And like just making A's pitchers look silly strikeouts. And I know, you're like, it's the A's, Suzy. How hard is it? It's quite hard. Haha, that's what she said. Most of those hitters are actually decent hitters since the All-Star break, people. So don't think over here that you're like, all right, yeah, but it's, sub 200 hitters. They were actually some very good hitters that Brian Abreu struck out.
Brent Rooker is better than your favorite baseball player. Just going to say that.
Absolutely. 1000%. Lawrence Butler and Brent Rooker are going to pay mortgages next season. Just, I need you to know. Oh, Aaron, don't tell me that. I hate that. I hate that so much. For the podcast, for the air people, good night. For the people that are listening to this via podcast, Aaron says, let's fucking go Soto walk off. I don't even like that. But I will like it much better next season when Juan Soto's on the Mets, and he's doing that for the Mets, Aaron. So I like that. I feel like that's going to hurt the people more if he goes there versus the Nationals. We'll get into that, though. So that was the Big Dick Pitching, the BDP award for Game 1. And then in Game 2, do you know who I'm about to give this award to, Tom? Or in which instance?
Hunter Brown, I believe it was the 5th inning that he just absolutely said, "You shall not pass," and went all in.
Yep. So gave up a single strikeout, walk, I think. Or maybe there was a different variation. Regardless, bases were loaded, 1 out. That's what you guys need to know. First off, bases were loaded. There was 1 out. And then he said, but not on my watch, motherfucker. And strikes the next 2 people out. And that fastball had some zip on it. It was very nice. Very, very nice. Now, Game 3. Tom, when am I going to give this award out? And who am I giving it out to?
That is a good question. I'm going to say you're going to give it to Ryan Presley when he gives up the homer into the Crawford boxes to Brent Rooker. That's the final answer.
You would be wrong. I mean, but that shouldn't be a new feeling for you though, Tom. So that's all right. You should be used to that. So this time I'm going to give the award to Fromber because first inning, I don't know what the fuck he was doing first inning. He was fucking around. He was lots of deep counts. And then the second inning, he just came out and said, fuck that. Fuck all y'all. Here's 8 pitches. Sit the fuck down. And it was beautiful. I was like, oh, that's what we like to see. That right there. That is the Fromber that we all know and love. And that's what we want to see. And so thus concludes the Big Dick Pitching segment of our show. Someday that will be a sponsored segment.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Just FYI, tell all your friends. I got a segment called Big Dick Pitching. Who wants to sponsor that?
We'll change it to Eggplant if that helps, for the PG-13.
I got a Facebook request, a friend request the other day, Tom, from a Richard Hood. His name was Richard Hood, and I go, this motherfucker's name is Dick Hood. I cannot. What is happening right now? That's no. It was one of those like spam things, anyways. But I looked at it, Mom. No, that's not what we're gonna do. That's almost as good as Richard Lovelady, and that's just sorry. I don't understand. Anyhow, Aaron says, oh, going back to Juan Soto, that he is the Met next year. Yeah, oh, no, Uncle Stevie is going to pay him all of the dollars to be a New York Met.
But getting back to Fromber, I really feel like he's starting to turn into a guy that if you don't get to him early, you're not going to get to him at all. Today, I think again, the last two games, and maybe this is just me, but I feel that Joe Espada has leaned on his starters one inning too long. And it's easy to say that in hindsight, but it's like when you see them expend themselves a little bit, when you see them dig deep to get out of a jam or to get through an inning, or there's a long inning, a long pause, I feel like it just makes sense to just go to the pen. You know, those guys, they've already gotten up to 80, 90 pitches. He's trying to get one more inning with 10 or 15 more pitches. And it seems like with Hunter and with Fromber, they both got into trouble in both instances. And it's just something that I think hopefully Joe learns from and goes, you know what? I don't need to tax them any further and risk losing a ball game when I've got a bullpen that I think I can go to. He's got guys that he can trust. I feel like for the most part, the bullpen has been really solid as of late. Even guys like Caleb Ferguson has been really good. Ort has been really good. So while they've given up runs, I think it's been, over multiple innings where they've been asked to do 2 innings worth of work. I would rather see them than go back to Hunter in that one instance or Framber today.
I feel you on that. I definitely understand. Side note, have you noticed that the boys have been pointing to the bullpen when they hit a dinger now? And it's just a recently started thing. Do you know why they started doing that?
I don't know why, but I noticed that when Hader went bananas for the Yordan homer, it's been ever since then. I feel like that's when I saw it first, and that's where it's kind of for me, that's the genesis.
Because the bullpen got onto the boys.
Good.
Bullpen got onto them and said, "What the fuck? We get no love?" And so that little tidbit brought to you by Caleb Ort from our friends at Foul Territory, because he was doing an interview the other day on there, and I had asked the question, and they asked the question for me, and I was like, yes, thank you. I needed this answer. And it was because they had not been getting recognized, and apparently everywhere else, when you hit a dinger,
you throw the H up to the bullpen. Yeah. You always see this one. But I didn't know that was like a bullpen to batter relationship. I just think they kind of did it, but now it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, bullpen got onto him. And was like, y'all, what the fuck? I don't think those were the exact words, but probably close. So, yeah, let's just really be honest. Deep down in my soul, I didn't think that we were going to win this series, especially with how hot the A's were playing. I kind of actually did hope, though, since the A's had gotten hot, that the boys were like, oh, all right, we got to play up to their level now. It did not happen. It didn't happen. But this enters the question, we go and play the Angels now. Which version of the team are we going to get in LA?
So I think you are going to get a motivated team in LA because it's on the road. Now, I don't know where you live on the whole, the Astros get booed, they played better. But I believe that's a thing. When they go into other ballparks and the fans are in their ear, you get a better game out of them. And when they're at home and they play lesser competition and they lose and people go nuts, it's because I think they cruise. They just coast. And now they're going to go to a division rival. You know that place is going to be hostile. You know they're going to get booed and they're going to put up runs. I also love the rotation going in there. I think you've got Yusei, who's pitching well. I don't have to even get into that. JV, who I think can pitch better, and then Ronell, who when he's rested, he's shown he's very, very good.
Yes. So the matchups are Yusei versus Aldagiri. I don't know if it's a hard G or a soft G on that. I'm very sorry about that. But it is essentially the first Italian-born MLB player to ever really, not ever, is it ever? It is ever, to come over and be like in the actual MLB. I'm all, oh, that's cool. So he is a little, no, that's Caden Dana. I'm getting ahead of myself. But he picked up his first win last week. So guess what he is? Is he a soft tossing lefty? Hooray! That the Astros haven't seen again? We'll see. We'll see if that helps or hurts. Who knows? The Saturday game is JD versus Anderson. We've seen Anderson, but again, another soft tossing lefty. We've seen him, so hopefully that kind of helps and plays into our favor. And then Sunday is Caden Dana versus Ronell. Caden Dana is another kid that literally just skipped AAA and has a 9 ERA. His debut, he actually kind of rocked it against the Mariners, went, I want to say 6.1 innings, struck out 6, then got just eaten up by the Rangers his next start and gave up 3 consecutive home runs and didn't get out of the second. So we'll see how we fare. It's 2 pitchers that we've never seen before. We know how the Astros like to bat when we've never seen a pitcher.
In case y'all haven't noticed,
am I wrong?
Suzy is always glass half empty. It does not matter that, the Stros could score 100 runs one day. There would be something she would find for you the next day. Now, she is very, very correct. Lefties, the Astros used to destroy them. Now, for whatever reason, they don't hit them well. Anybody they've never seen before, they don't hit well. I think a lot of it is because they are very impatient at the plate. They do not take pitches. They go up there hacking. Bregman today did that. I don't know if, I do know. Jose Altuve is just a different animal, right? No one should try to do what Jose Altuve does. Anyone that sees that and goes, oh, I could do that, you're absolutely fucking wrong. And Bregman today, what did he do? He led off and he swung at the first pitch, the first 3 at-bats, and grounded out on all 3 of them. So I really hope that the Astros just work counts. If you work counts against these younger guys, they will make mistakes. It's when you allow them to settle in. It's when you go up there hacking that all of a sudden now he's in the 6th inning and he's thrown 60 pitches and Suzy's tweeting, he's going to go complete game, isn't he? He's definitely going to go complete game. I know it.
Again, he went farther in this game than he has all season long in any previous start. What did he actually do? Was it?
It was 7
innings. 7. Okay.
7. And I wouldn't have gave 2 shits if he lost. And for me, that's all I care about. I know you want them to score 15 runs and just lay their eggplant all over the field and all over the other team. But all I want to do is win. I do not care how they do it. The fact that, their rookie pitcher went 7 innings meant nothing. They were up 2-1 in the 8th before Presley gave up the dinger.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's America's closer, right there. What's happening right now?
He may not even be Houston or Sugarland's closer.
Oh, all right. That's the views that are currently being expressed on this show.
Listen.
Are Tom's and only Tom's.
Ryan Presley was great for a season, and I'm not talking about one season. I'm not talking about one. I'm not talking about one season at a time. That saying, a season. Well, that season has passed, and now he's getting up there. That's all. That's all I'm saying. He threw a pitch to Brett Rooker that you can't throw there, and he did. So, I still think he's a very valuable part of this bullpen. I think he's very, very dependable to an extent. I hope he's pitching in the 7th and not the 8th, but we'll see. And so far, Joe has been very adamant about Abreu Presley hater, and I wish they would flip flop that. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what's actually going to happen? What Tom wants probably will not happen, at least this season, unless something major happens and goes awry. So I would like to talk about our first base situation.
Oh no. You're not going to like this series. It's not going to go the way you want.
It's a situationship right now, and it needs to be defined. It
is
to
defined.
be defined. It's not fucking defined. Let's talk about it. At what point is it defined?
The definition.
Is he platooning?
Yes. The definition
is he facing every single right-handed pitcher?
No, but he is platooning. Platooning means more than one. It does not mean how many. I can't tell you how many. I can just tell you that it's more than one. If there is a left-handed pitcher, soft tossing, hard tossing does not matter. John Singleton cannot hit them. And John Singleton will not be allowed to hit them so far per Joe Espada. You've seen it. I don't know what to tell you. The numbers bear it out. He's god awful against left-handed pitching. John Singleton, if he could figure out how to hit lefties, just like average, my God, he'd be an everyday first baseman. There would be no platooning. It would be John Singleton, and that's it. You deal with whatever defensive liability he is because he's a really good, how do I put this? He takes at bats further than I think anybody else. Very disciplined. That's what I should have said. Very disciplined. You rarely see him just get up there hacking. You know, he stays in the zone. He has really good at bats. It's just for whatever reason, he is absolutely awful against lefties.
Okay, then I need to see him against every right-handed starter. If there's a right-handed starter, he needs to be up there.
You won't, because you're not sacrificing Yainer Diaz ever. Because the person that you're most concerned with is Yainer. Yainer's going to take away some of his play because there's going to be a game where Yainer needs a break behind the dish and Victor's going to catch. And it's like, okay, well, it's a righty and I don't care. I want Yainer to play first base because I can't sacrifice the DH, especially not in this next series because left field is monstrous. So you will not see Yordan Alvarez play left field in the series, in my opinion. Where does that leave?
Someone's not going to play. Someone is not going to play in this series. And that's someone.
John Singleton.
I don't think so. I mean, probably Sunday. Sunday we'll see John Singleton
for sure.
But I don't.
You don't like it. I know.
I like none of this. I like none of the fact that Jose Altuve tweaked his side. If I literally never see the word discomfort ever fucking again, it will be too goddamn soon, people. I wish the word discomfort was never created, invented, put together. No, like Tom said on our last episode, that is the D word that you don't want. Okay, don't give me any of that D. None of that. So the fact that now we have Jose Altuve that apparently did work with a medicine ball. I don't even know what that means. Are you throwing the medicine ball? Are you sitting on the medicine ball? Are you rolling on the medicine ball? What are you doing, Jose Altuve, with this medicine ball?
I mean, you're probably just stretching. Probably just a rotation, maybe. I feel like, unfortunately, this is something oblique-ish. And I don't know if you remember, last year he struggled with an oblique injury. He tried to downplay it, but I think that's just Astros' MO. They're never going to tell you what's really wrong, even though you kind of know what's really wrong. Robert Flores, Roflo, was like, that looked like an oblique injury. I agree with him, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I don't even know what an oblique is. I don't know where my obliques are. They're like hidden under all of the things down here. I'm pretty sure though it's not gotten any work, so I'll give him mine. It's like brand new, right? There's no tread on those tires. Just here, Altuve. I'll just give it to you. Please take it. Please, for the love of God. I don't think we will see Altuve in this series. And that will tell us how actually serious this injury is. When the team actually just tells us, oh, it's just day to day. It was actually already a scheduled day off for Jose Altuve. So, we need to get him right for the playoffs. That's what's probably going to happen.
Here's what I think, in my opinion, what will happen. It will be a game-by-game situation as to whether or not I would bet a paycheck that Jose Altuve will not play tomorrow. And if the Astros win, then he won't play the next day. And if the Astros win, then he won't play the next day. Because at that point, you lose no ground. Now, if you told me that they lost the first two of the series and Sunday they're a game and a half up on Seattle, Jose Altuve is in the lineup. Oblique or whatever, he's in the lineup. That's just my opinion.
It's still 1-0, by the way. Bottom of the fourth.
We love that. Go, Kumar,
Rangers,
go.
Mariners. It's gross. I don't want to say that I want the Rangers to win. I don't want to say it, but I have to.
You don't have to. You can just say, I'm here for Seattle to lose and omit the other part.
But I don't want the Rangers technically to win either. I want neither one to win and nobody to have fun. This is what I'm here for. So if we can sweep, which on paper, we should be able to sweep the Angels. And on paper, the Rangers should be able to sweep the Mariners. I don't actually know if that's going to happen now, though.
Corey Seager just went down. Yeah.
Like completely out with some hip surgery, right?
Sports hernia.
Isn't that what he went down with last season?
I think so. Hernias are tricky, man. It's like the lining of your abs, groin area. Like, I hear that never really heals all the way.
Legitimately, every time I hear about a hernia, I think about that Friends episode with Joey, and he like holds on to his side. He's like, "See, now it's fine." I don't actually know what a hernia actually is. Showing my ignorance here, but that's the episode that I think of every time, and I'm like, just pop it back in. Sew that shit up? You're good. I don't think it works like that though. But what do you think the result will be at the end of the week?
I think the Astros win the series. I think it's like 2-1. Sweeps are hard. That's been my MO all season. I'm not going to change that. One of the soft tossing lefties will have a game or something, and Suzy will be irate, and it is what it is. I really hope that it doesn't matter because they don't lose any ground with Seattle having to deal with Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, and right now Kumar Rocker, who is a very, very talented young pitcher. So I think that the pitching lines up, in my opinion, in favor of the Rangers. We've already talked at length about how Seattle struggles to hit. Suzy has outlined many times that they're one of the worst hitting teams, highest strikeout teams in all of baseball. So when you add that to the pitching, the matchups, they were talking about deGrom throwing like 99 or something like that coming off of Tommy John. So I don't know how limited he'll be. That'll be the question, like how far they'll let him go. But I imagine he'll be really fresh and probably pitch really well.
Did you see that Max Scherzer walked somebody in his rehab start so he wouldn't have a perfect game?
No, but Max is probably the craziest dude, eyes aside, that I've ever seen. So I'm not surprised at all when he does crazy shit.
Yeah, I heard that, and I had to do a double take and make sure that I heard it correctly because, sometimes I'm old and my ears don't work as well as I hope. So I had to rewind and listen to it again. And sure enough, that's what they said. And it didn't give any explanation as to, I guess, why he would do that. And in my head, I guess was just thinking he didn't want a perfect game versus minor leaguers. Like he wanted a perfect game versus actual competition.
I buy that.
I feel like maybe he was throwing to toddlers.
like, hey, I don't want anybody to talk about it. I want to keep it hush, because if he throws a perfecto in the minors, it's gonna like back Scherzer, da, da, da. That for me, that feels more like why he did it. He's like, I don't want any accolade for that.
That's true. That is true. So if you are in the chat, 1, say hi. 2, put what you guys think will be the result after this weekend. Are we going to be up 6? Are we going to be up 4? What do you think? How many games back do you think the Mariners will be? Do you think that we're just going to lose ground? What do you guys think? I need the sky is falling people to come with me, and just so that we can commiserate together, so that Tom won't be sick of my shit at some point in time. He'll just be like, stop being like this. And I just want to say that sometimes baseball sucks.
So let me tell you what happened today. Y'all need to hear the story, because I was just like, at a point, I'm like, this is the text where I'm just like, chill the fuck out, Suzy, please. So runners on first and second, or would you like to tell the story?
Hold on. Before you get into this, I would just like to point out that I feel like I'm right in this situation. And that if you polled random people about this, that more people would have my point of view versus your point of view. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
Post the poll on Twitter, baby. I am ready to go to war with this one.
Okay. People in the chat, if you are here, I need you to chime in. All right. I need you to chime in. So in the bottom of the third, Yiner's already on first, Tucker doubles. So now we have runners second and third, 2 outs. And who comes to the plate?
Jeremy Pena.
And I was like, cool. All right, that's great. Love that. And instead of doing any sort of thing to, I don't know, maybe drive in a run, it's Jeremy Pena, people. I don't know if you're as fed up with him as I am. But I'm probably up to my nose, which is not very tall, because I'm a SML person. So the level of my, tolerance is probably a lot smaller than everybody else's. I'm just saying that I would like some sort of bunting things to happen.
Hold on, that's not the instance. The instance that we were talking about was later on in the game. Mm-hmm.
For the podcasting people, when you hear the silence, I'm giving Tom a look as to say, what the fuck are you talking about? Instead of actually saying the words, what the fuck are you talking about?
So when I texted you, because Suzy, so let me I guess outline it.
Okay.
I want to say it was like the 6th or 7th inning. No. It was the 8th inning. It was the 8th inning when they scored all the runs. So the 8th inning, they have first and second with 1 out. The 8th inning. Everybody tracking? First and second, 1 out. Jeremy Pena comes up. Suzy texts me, Jeremy Pena better motherfucking bunt.
Okay, hold on. Because
hold on to the Distillery Ring. What's up, baby?
Because earlier we had talked about Jake Myers bunting. That's where I was getting confused, because earlier
okay.
I had made a note on my phone and I said, 1 out, Big John, ground rule double, Jake Myers needs to bunt. Why isn't he bunting? Those were the exact, that's the exact, oh, you can't see it because it's very bright. Those were the exact words that were on my phone screen. All right. And so then I texted that to Tom and said, so I made this note to remind myself that we need to talk about this tonight. And lo and behold, the next inning, Jake sack bunts.
Correct.
Okay, so that was at 2:14.
Correct.
An hour later, I texted him and I said, I swear to God, if they don't make JP bunt, I'm going to scream.
Different set of circumstances entirely.
And then Tom says, with one out, they won't. And so I text back, why? So he can automatically ground out or ground into a double play?
Which is exactly what set me off, because it's like she's already committed in her brain that JP's going to fuck this up.
That JP is an auto out because
he's not.
4 for 29.
Mm-hmm.
4 for 29 with runners in scoring position, Tom. That would skew much more into my lane versus actually doing something.
Now do Alex Bregman. Same
I'm not
shit.
talking about Alex Bregman.
No, but my point is baseball's hard. I get it. Absolutely. He should be better. They all should bat 1,000. They won't. It's not how it works. It just won't. So here's what I'm telling you. Like, if there was nobody out, then yes, JP should have bunted. I agree with the logic of moving the runners over, knocking them in, that sort of thing. With one out, you bunt them over to second, third, you have 2 outs. You're better to let him swing away and have the opportunity to drive somebody in. Scott, I totally agree. Bunting is a lost art form. The Astros are horrible at it, except for Altuve, who conveniently is injured. But
they took bunting practice. They did the bunting practice. Hector Neris, I don't know if Hector Neris did any PFPs with the bunting, but maybe we need to get on that.
You noticed there was no actual video of where the bunts went, right? You never saw. Yeah. They probably weren't good.
No, but did you notice who was taking the bunts?
Yes.
It was Doobie. It was Jake. It was Shea Wickham. I don't know why JP wasn't in there. I feel like JP probably should have been in there. Maybe tags didn't get JP bunting.
So ideally, if you believe that your guys are good contact hitters or fast, you're not going to be able to turn a double play on them. You're probably not asking them to bunt. The guys that are normally the bunters I mean, they all should, right? But the guys you see do it more often are the guys at the bottom of the line to set the table for the top. That's why you just outlined Doobie, Jake, 7, 8, 9, basically, to line it up for Braggs, Tuck, Yordan, Yiner, those guys.
Okay, so let's finish the text chain. So after I ask why, so he can automatically ground out or ground into a double play, he says, "Damn girl, have just a little fucking faith. One time, sheesh." And there was 3 exclamation points. No emojis.
None.
3.
None.
And so then what did Jeremy Pena do?
Jeremy
flew out
to deep right center, sacrificing the guy to third.
And then he texted me and said, "See, a little faith works sometimes."
Well, that's because the floodgates opened after. She's like, "I have tons of faith in John Singleton."
Yeah, and I did. Up until that point, he had gone 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. And then the third time, he scored a run. Batted a run in. There we go.
You know what probably hurt? You know what probably hurt Jeremy Pena today? And it shouldn't, but I bet you it did, because he's a proud guy. Yesterday, he was 2 for 3. Runners in scoring position, righty on the mound or whatever, and Joe pulls him and puts Tuck in. Now, Tuck drives in a run, but there's not one baseball player that'll tell you, "I want to be pinch hit for." So he got pinch hit, and then the next day, lo and behold, he doesn't play well.
I don't know. We'll see.
I agree with Old Humble Distilling.
Old Humble Distilling says, "You don't want to take the bat out of the hands of the top of the lineup. Those guys are far more likely to take advantage of a 315 wall than not." On one hand, I agree with you, Old Humble. I'm not asking Alex Bregman to bunt. Not asking Yordan to bunt, even though it literally fucks with some of the pitchers' heads. I'm asking the bottom of the lineup to bunt, and half the time, Jeremy Pena is down there.
How many
And I
home
feel
runs
like
does Jeremy Pena have on the season?
10.
Wrong. Keep going.
How many home runs?
15. It's why he's in the middle of the lineup. As much as you hate to hear
What
it,
are we,
he
hold
can
on,
run
hold on,
into
hold
one.
on. What are we considering the middle of the lineup?
6, 5.
Okay. This is not a math pod, but I feel like so 7, 8, 9 is considered
That's
the bottom of the
bottom.
lineup,
Absolutely.
and 6 is middle. I feel like okay. I don't think I subscribe to that. I don't like that. Pena has probably never asked to bunt because they may assume he beat out a double play with his speed. Scott, I don't disagree with you. I'm so sick of seeing Jeremy Pena ground out into a double play. And I realize that he does not lead the team in GIDPs. That is different than the BDPs that we were talking about earlier. If you missed that, I'm very sorry. Grounding into double plays, I realize that Yainer Diaz leads the team in those. Jeremy Pena, however, is second in those numbers.
So knowing that, are you taking the bat out of Yainer Diaz's hands? No.
This is Ref. Hi, Ref.
Appreciate you.
This is a Yankee fan. Ref, we are very thankful that you are here. Thank you so much. Still, though, the bottom of the lineup is professional hitters. They are ball players. We're not talking about the fat kid on the little league team that he has to have in a bat because the rules require it. I don't know. Jake Myers is on this team. Although Jake got a hit today. I say that way less on this podcast than I would like to say. I wish Jake got more hits there. That's what I want to say. I want to say that it does not pain me to watch Jake swing at the first pitch of every fucking at bat, and he grounds out just immediately. That hurts my soul. It hurts my soul, especially now that Chaz went down with a fucking fractured finger. And you could tell how badly that sucked for him.
Crushed him.
Crushed me. It crushed me. And I need you to know that I have a black soul. So the fact that I felt any sort of feelings and or pain, like, you know that it was bad. You know that shit was bad. Especially since he had been playing so much better. And those at-bats that were going to Jake, going back to Chaz. Whatever.
The one thing that I think is like, it's so tough, especially with like Jake Myers, right? Is they know he's going to swing first pitch, yet they still went middle. You know what I mean? I got to believe if there was an A's, whatever Suzy equivalent that would be. I know there's not. There's Suzy's
not.
Suzy's one of one. But if there was, somebody who was angry tweeting, can't throw it there, especially not to this guy, knowing he's going to swing first pitch. But I mean, he's an Astro, right? We all root for him to perform. The frustration is that once you get to a certain point where it's like the Maldi thing, where you know this is the ceiling, it's like there has to be better. And that's really where we are, or at least where I am with Jake Myers.
So, shout out Jay Hay, though. Got his first homer as an Astro. And not gonna lie, I was getting a little frustrated. I was getting a little frustrated with Jay Hay, Jason Hayward.
Why?
Just because of the fact that, like, I knew what he has done and what he is capable of. I realize that he is getting up there in age and the defense is not taking a hit. But I apparently expected more out of Jason Hayward, especially because, you know, the first couple of times that he came up to bat when he was here, he actually did get a hit. So what does the outfield look like in Los Angeles? Is it going to be Ben and Mauricio and Tuck?
No, it's going to be Tuck and Jake and probably Ben.
Oh, because
Or
Doobie's going to be at
actually,
second.
actually, it'll be Tuck and Jake and
Jake.
Doobie because Ben is a lefty. And by Ben, I'm talking about Ben Gamble. And I think they would probably limit lefty on lefty. So you won't get Hayward, you won't get Gamble, you won't get Singleton. The minute that guy comes out of the game, then he'll probably pitch hit all three of them.
So the 8th. Now
For the audio only people.
Now I'm just doing it to push your fucking buttons because it's fun. Oh, that's fun. Ref got their rescue puppy from Harris County in Houston. My wife is mad we didn't call him Astro since I love baseball. Missed opportunity. Although being a Yankee fan, I don't know if that would,
do orbit. It's less likely to cause, a stir.
That's fun. Yeah. So it is frustrating watching this team underperform to teams that we know that they should beat. So I just need whomever to put one of the little blue pills in all of their drinks. Just maybe spike the Gatorade. That's all I'm saying. So just realize that, the Angels, you need to get up for these series. Zizzes. Astros. Just saying. How long will it take before Alex Bregman is like, my arm hurts too bad?
I don't think
how much do you think it's affecting his batting decisions now?
I don't know that it's affecting him at all. I mean, is he batting a little poorly at the moment? Yes. But I mean, you saw the play that he made. I think it was in Hunter's game, game 2, made a phenomenal play, and still has a very strong arm to first base from third. So it can't be like limiting him that much if he's able to make a play like that.
Well, but they said it didn't. They said it wasn't hurting on defense. They said it was hurting most when he batted, and I obviously don't know the mechanics of that or why. So someone enlighten me.
I don't know. I feel like you're not going to see Bregman do that in a contract year. You're going to get every last ounce, and he's going to play every game, hurt or not, because there's however many other teams. I don't want to say 30 because that's not right. I don't know. There's 10 teams that are looking at him, and
I'd say like 5. I'd say like 5. I mean, there may be 10 looking at him, but I think there's 5 maybe that he would actually consider going to.
Yeah, and he's auditioning for his next contract. So you're going to get, especially come October, you're going to get Bregman every day. Now, will I think Joe Espada listen to him if he's saying, hey, maybe I need tomorrow, or if Joe sees something, that's when you'll get him an off day? Probably. There might be some days where you're like, man, this lineup is not great, or if they call DeCenzo back up, then you're like, oh, well, okay. Clearly they need somebody. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. So for those that missed the roster moves, they did place Chaz on the IL. So Gray Kessinger has come back up, and they did bring back Brian King, who I'm very glad that they brought Brian King back up. They optioned Nick Hernandez. And I personally was very sad that when Brian King went down, obviously it was not a demotion because he wasn't pitching well. It was literally just because we didn't have room and we needed a fresh arm. So back he comes, and now we have, remember when we could only have like one lefty in the bullpen? And now we have just a plethora.
Yeah, there was time there was no lefties. Like, well, our right-handed guys get lefties out good. So we just didn't have a lefty at all. And that Dusty was like, I guess that's what maybe that really hurt Dusty Baker. Maybe they did not give him a lefty and he really wanted one. But now, yeah, Joe Espada's got all kinds of lefty options.
Yeah. So there's 104 of you in here. I don't know where you came from, but we thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Say hi in the chat. If you do not already subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the big red subscribe button. We would love you forever. Forever. I will say it like they do in the movies. You know, I don't have big black glasses and I can't be squints, but I will try my hardest. All right. So, like the episode, again, it helps the algorithm or something. I don't know. I don't actually know any of the things that I'm actually saying. I just hear other people say them and then I parrot them and, you know, feel smart. So, if you guys are in the chat, though, put where you think the Astros are going to end up. Like, how do you think the season ends up for the Astros? Like, I don't want your homer takes. I want you guys to actually really think about the division, ALCS, if World Series is where you think we're going to go, who are going to play, all of that fun stuff. I actually want predictions. So, Tom, where do you think our season ends?
It's so tough because, I mean, you just don't know how the playoffs are going to fall, right? Right now, there's a lot of moving parts with who plays who. I feel like for me, if, you know, the Yankees and say Baltimore beat each other up, something like that, I wouldn't want to see the Royals in the playoffs. That would be a scary matchup. But I feel like ALCS. I really feel like this team is going to do everything in its power to get back to an ALCS. I don't know what that other club that they would have to face would look like. There isn't a team in the AL that I fear. There's teams that I would like to avoid, especially, you know, that last wild card is always the scariest team for me because, you know, they fought and clawed to get into the playoffs and they're basically playing with house money. So they play with their hair on fire. They run when they're not supposed to. They do all the things and they're the scariest teams. Every year you see them come through. So I really feel like ALCS is where the Astros go. I think there is where maybe the pitching runs out. I feel like the Astros are going to go as far as their rotation. I think one thing that I'm excited about really that could totally change the way the Astros look by the end of the season is Kyle Tucker. You know, nobody knew how long it was going to take Kyle Tucker to get back to hitting baseballs, to get back to playing in the outfield. He really just thought he was going to be a DH for a long time. And if he's able to get back in the outfield and look himself in Anaheim, I think you're already starting to see him more comfortable at the plate. I think he had some really good at-bats in this past series. And when that lineup's whole, assuming Altuve comes back and they put the death lineup that Suzy put out there the other day, I would put them up against anybody.
The first Kyle Tucker home run.
It's going to hit like crack.
Oh my God. There will be sonnets written about it. I don't know by whom, not me, because I suck at poetry, but someone. Maybe I will commission one. I think that would be delightful. Can you believe that this team still doesn't have a fucking Grand Slam?
Who cares? Why does that matter? Why are you so and you're not the only one. I want to be clear. I'm over here hitting the microphone. There are people that are really ate up about this Grand Slam thing, and I'm like, for what? For
just
what?
Because there are teams that have multiple
Grand Slams
in multiple series, in the same series. The Brewers can't stop hitting Grand Slams. It's just one of those weird things because baseball. My daughter looks at all of the standings, vaguely knows the benchmarks for teams, and the Rockies beat the Tigers today. And she goes, how did the Rockies beat the Tigers? And all I could say to her was, it's baseball, babe. And she goes, I don't understand what that means. And I go, unfortunately, no one really does. That's why there's 162 games played. And, you know, the people who win the most games, they don't even win the World Series. That's not even how that goes either. Because, you know, 84 win teams get to go into the World Series. So she was baffled by that as well. She goes, wait, I thought the Diamondbacks were good last year. They played in the World Series. I go, they won 84 games. And she goes, that's not very good. And it cracks
She's
me up.
right. G Garcia, what's up, baby? The one thing I'll say about your Grand Slam, whatever, we need a Grand Slam. How many of those teams have thrown like no-nos or taken a no-no into like the 8th?
I don't.
You can't answer it because
That's
it's probably
a deep
not.
cut.
It's
That's a deep
probably,
cut Brewers question that I'm not that familiar with.
you know what I mean? Like, I'll take the better pitching over the better hitting every time.
Although I want to say that the Brewers starter ERA is better than the Astros, so I don't think the D-backs starter cumulative starter ERA is better than the Astros though. But I want to say the Brewers is.
Like I mean, Fromber flirted with it twice. Ronell threw one. I think they would probably like that instead of, oh, we hit 80 billion Grand Slams.
I mean, if we hit 80 billion Grand Slams, then
really, Suzy, we're gonna get actual.
Listen, I don't understand. So I don't understand how we went from 95. No, we had 113. Now we have 5. Everyone just left.
Appreciate the 5. It is bedtime.
It is bedtime. So, we will wrap up though because I am tired. And again, if you guys don't already subscribe, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit like on this episode. Go tell all your friends, hey, there's this really fun podcast that you should probably check out. If you're not a fan of the Astros, that's okay. We have another show. It's called Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls Edition, where we talk about all the teams. All of the teams. And sometimes I even give compliments to the Dodgers and the Yankees. What? It's very hard for me to do though, but I do it because I appreciate the good baseball. I appreciate the good baseball and I will do it. So with that, we are going to wrap up the episode, say goodbye. Tom, final thoughts.
The Astros will be fine. Relax, people. They will be right where you expect them to be at the end of the season.
This is why you should become a subscriber, because after you become a subscriber, you lose 10 pounds and you look fabulous in bikini. That's not my words. That's Old Humble Distilling Company. FYI, I have some. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, maybe you can. Over my shoulder. There it is.
Boomtown.
You see the blue bottle? Boomtown bourbon. Go get you guys some. Go get you guys some.
I need to.
It's. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm one of those cultured bourbon drinkers and be like, oh, it has a smoky flavor. I'm not. That's not me. I can't do that. It's actually decent though. So.
I fake it till I make it. I'll tell you all that. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll definitely tell you I like it.
I'm not a faker. I'm not a faker. Ask my husband. That's not what I do. I will tell you straight up. So, thanks, Ref. I appreciate you. We
appreciate you.
I need to get some merch. We're trying to get the merch. It's on the to-do list. So, anyhow, I just broke something. Go check out Old Humble Distilling. I can't point correctly. I don't understand how.
You're perfect. It's right there. No, you're
right there. The Boomtown Bourbon. All right. If you are audio only, go timestamp this and go look at the YouTubes. Go up there, get you a bottle. They even ship. So you don't even have to make the drive. You don't even have to make the drive. Just tippy tap tap on the website. Go order you a bottle. Thank me later. All right. And Tom, where can the peoples find you on the interwebs if they want to yell at you about your Jeremy Pena take?
Please come to Twitter at Third Coast Tom. Come find me on Instagram at TCTom1. On the PSF app, I will absolutely force Suzy to do it with me again at some point before the season is over. It is the best place to watch a game if you are not at the game. Bunch of people just like in this chat room, hanging out, watching a game, going pitch by pitch, talking through stuff live as opposed to before or after it. So come hang out with us there.
You can see all of the irrational takes live while it's happening, while I melt down on the couch. That's what will happen. Mhm.
If you've never watched Suzy watch a baseball game, it's 1,000 times more entertaining than watching her podcast. I promise.
It's
Every
so ridiculous.
emotion, you get them in those 9 innings. You get them all. So
Yeah,
come check it out.
just all of the yelling, my damn it doll is back here somewhere. I don't think you can see it. Oh, maybe you can see it. Nope, you can't see it. There it is. Do you see him back there? Where am I going? There he is back there. Yeah, that's the damn it doll, people. So, when the Astros are not doing well, grab the damn it doll, and I beat him on the table. That's what she said. Anyways, with that, we are going to close the show. Come find us on the socials. Follow us. I will put out on the socials our next showing of the PSF app. It'll probably be this weekend, maybe next weekend. Who actually knows? But follow us on the socials. Then you can figure that out. If you're not a fan of the Astros, which that's okay.
You should be.
There's no accounting for good taste. I'm just saying. So if you're not a fan of the Astros, if you're a fan of another team, they have, I was going to say podcasters. It's not podcasters. Sportscasters. Is that
Mediacasters?
Mediacasters. There we go. Mediacasters for all of the teams. Obviously, they're not going to be as entertaining as Tom and I. Nobody really can. I mean, let's be really honest. I'm just kidding. They will maybe be as cool as we are, but they have mediacasters for all of the teams. And if baseball is not your sport, if football is your number one, they have mediacasters for all of the football teams as well. I was watching, and by I was watching, I mean the Bills-Dolphins game was on the TV. I was actually playing Candy Crush on my phone while it was playing. And every now and then I would just look up and be like, oh, interception. And then, and then be like, wait, what? And then go back to Candy Crush. So you're welcome for
That's how it starts.
That's
how it starts.
I'm just no. Literally, I had to catch myself not asking my husband where the ball was every other play. That's part of the issue. Anyhow, with that, we are going to wrap up the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like, subscribe, rate, review, do all of those fun things. And with that, we are going to say, yay, baseball. In the stream, maybe now. Yes. Okay.